I had to tell them I'm alive because of you.
It's been 5 years.
5.5 years.
Yeah.
5.5 years. My name is Greg Kaiser, and I was diagnosed with adenocarcinoma, lung cancer, stage 4, in December of 2013, and subsequently found out it had metastasized to the spine and the ribs and the hips with bone cancer. So I was basically having stage 4 lung and bone cancer. When I was in the hospital, they thought I had valley fever. And it turns out when they analyzed the fluid out of my lungs that it wasn't valley fever. And the doctor said, well, don't you want to know what you have? And I said, sure, and my wife's with me. He says, well, you have lung cancer. And I was shocked. I mean, just like, oh my God, who gets cancer? Why do I get cancer? And he was going to recommend me to another doctor, and then he thought for a minute and recommended Dr. Iyengar, and that was the best recommendation he could have given me. Before I was diagnosed with cancer, I lived what I thought would be a fairly normal life. I was 66. I was still working. I managed a food brokerage business with 17 employees, and I thought I was perfectly healthy. My wife and I have been coming down to Arizona for 6 or 7 years. Prior to that, snowbirds typical, and we were down here when I was diagnosed, and all of a sudden your world is turned upside down. You all of a sudden realize that, hey, cancer that everybody else gets, now I have. So it shocks you, and it makes you stop and think about, what do I do now with the rest of my life? When I was first diagnosed and introduced to Dr. Iyengar, I was going to the Tatum facility, and I walked into the reception room with my wife, and we looked around, and it's like, oh my God, look how many people are in here. This is a realization of how many people have cancer, and some of them looked like they're on their last legs, and I felt relatively healthy. And I went in and met Dr. Iyengar, and immediately bonded with her and knew that she was going to be a great doctor because of the personal care she showed to me. And every visit since then has only reinforced that first observation. What I've learned on my journey through cancer is that you take care of yourself. You be your own advocate. You rely on the doctors to give you the best technology available, the best drugs available, but then you have to be an advocate for yourself and take care of yourself and stay healthy and be positive and have hope. And that does a lot for your body and your mind to stay well. When I reflect back on the 5.5 years that I've had cancer, I think the most shocking moment to me was being diagnosed with it and being told you have cancer when I never dreamed it would happen to me. And then secondly, when I started my drug, the body's reaction to it was kind of shocking to me. It's like total acne all over your body, particularly your face, arms, chest. You just can't appreciate your body doing that, but it does. But that's its way of acknowledging that the drug's working for you. So you look at it as positively, like, okay, it's working, this is good. The strength that I get comes from a belief in divine providence and in the love of my family, that I know they're there for me, and the friends that I have. But you learn to say, well, this is life. You have to deal with it, and you've got a good support group around you, people that love you, that understand that and are there for you. Well, one of the interesting things that I find myself, it's actually being an advocate, I think, over trying to help people is because I have survived longer than normal and longer than most of the people who have taken this drug from the published studies, is that when I meet somebody, and I have met people, some just recently who've had lung cancer, they've had their lungs removed, they have other types of cancer, I tell them, you just have hope, because you may respond well to the treatment that you're going to get. It doesn't automatically mean you're going to die because you've got cancer. You may die someday because the drugs don't normally kill cancer, but they can help you survive for a long time. So try not to have fear. When I When I think about the treatment I've had at Ironwood Cancer Clinic, I have a very positive feeling. Sometimes I get a little frustrated with, I hear people say, oh, you should go to Mayo Clinic. Even my family originally told me that, got to go to Mayo Clinic. And I realized that, and Dr. Iyengar has reinforced that, it's like all of these clinics have access to the same information. And it really depends on the kindness and the technical capabilities of the doctors you have and the support system. To me, Ironwood has done an outstanding job, and I look forward to coming here every month or every 3 months, depending on when I need to come, because of the chance to interact with people here and reinforce, my positive outlook that I'm doing okay.